Well, I think I've witnessed the last straw. The marketing around Black Widow has now completely turned me off from ever seeing this movie. I can't. I just can't. I can't with this. This is Marvel's Me Too movie. Are you joking? Like, whoever is in charge of marketing over at Marvel has to get this stuff reined in. There is no doubt in my mind that this line of women are underappreciated and sending Scarlett Johansson out there to whine and complain. Look, I get it. She's probably just answering the questions she's been asked. However, the problem is Marvel isn't stopping this. Marvel is purposely sending them out on these press junkets where they get asked these kind of garbage questions. Look at this. Look at this. Scarlett Johansson explains how Black Widow became Marvel's Me Too movie. You can't miss the opportunity. How about this? Black Widow star Scarlett Johansson claims women are undermined, underserved, underappreciated, and underpaid. Underpaid? Really? Scarlett Johansson. How much was Scarlett Johansson paid for Black Widow? $15 million. $15 million. How much more are you supposed to get paid? How much more are you supposed to get paid? Now, here's the thing. This is why I'm out now. I'm just done. Black Widow's reported production budget is in excess of $200 million. Now, does that mean $299 million or $201 million? I don't know. Equaling the budgets of MCU Phase 3 movies, Black Panther, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, it actually costs more to make than a majority of the non-Avengers films in Phase 3. The lone exception is Captain America at $230 million, which boasted an Avengers ensemble cast. Black Widow's $200 million budget does not account for marketing costs, which means production cost times 2 equals the break-even point. That's the general rule of thumb. So if a movie costs $200 million, you need $400 million to break even. Black Widow will need to gross $400 million worldwide to make its money back. However, in this case, it's likely a bit more. Black Widow already has a very visible marketing campaign prior to the lockdowns, complete with a pricey Super Bowl TV spot. It's unknown how much money exactly Disney spent on advertising, but the numerous delays probably spiked the cost a bit. Since they essentially had to put together multiple campaigns, there obviously wasn't another Black Widow Super Bowl commercial this year, but Disney still had to do their part to raise awareness and generate hype for the movie, especially after it was pushed back so many times. It wouldn't be surprising if Black Widow's break-even point was close to $500 million. Even though the box office hasn't fully returned to pre-lockdown normals, there's still a good chance Black Widow can hit that figure. Fast 9 currently stands at $500.5 million worldwide. And since Black Widow is projected to earn more, likely won't have any trouble reaching $500 million. It'll be interesting to see how high the box office numbers are at the end of its run. Obviously, we don't know based on how many people, will pay $30 to see it because, well, I don't know. I was going to watch it tonight, I think at midnight or whatever, after the Bucks break my heart again. And then so I could report back on it. And, maybe now if a friend buys it, maybe I'll watch it. But at this point, I'm just done with this pandering garbage. And I get it. These are words out of Scarlett Johansson's mouth. While fans have clamored for a standalone adventure centered around Scarlett Johansson for years, it wasn't until fall of 2017 that the idea really began to take shape, right around Thanksgiving. 6 weeks earlier, an explosive expose from Ronan Farrow in The New Yorker revealed widespread Me Too garbage, most of which ended up going nowhere. Indeed, of course, the Harvey scandal. And then Johansson began meeting with the screenwriter Jack Schaefer to shape the plot of what will become the first entry in Phase 4, the weeks-long delayed, hotly anticipated Black Widow. Unfortunately, that's just one example of so many, Johansson says of Harvey, whom with she worked in The Nanny Diaries in 2007 and Vicky Cristina Barcelona in 2008. In a new interview with Yahoo Entertainment, We've had to comment on what is this incredible movement of women supporting other women and coming through the shared experiences of trauma, on the other side really coming forward and supporting one another. I actually don't think that's how I would describe it. I would describe it as a mad cash grab for people with basically one person, one or two people actually getting caught up in it. And by the way, I believe that Harvey was genuinely a creep. Okay, I believe the things that were said about him because there's actual audio and video evidence of a lot of it. She explains, at the very beginning of really seriously talking about this it was right during the beginning of Me Too. I felt like you can't miss the opportunity to draw the comparison between these two things. During the film, the Avenger must come to terms with a ruthless antagonist, a powerful man, who is mean to women, herself included. Set in the following the events of 2016's Captain America Civil War, Black Widow finds Johansson's Natasha Romanoff in hiding from authorities before being lured by her, quote, sister, Yelena Belova, into a mission to take down Dreykov, Ray Winstone. Dreykov oversees Redstone, blah, 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 blah. She's kind of been the victim of childhood trauma and being exploited, and in the past, and she doesn't face it that she's running away from, Johansson explains. And then her sister, who is very self-possessed, kind of firecracker liability in some ways, but the person is fiercely independent, basically forcing her to come to terms with it, forcing her to face it. It felt very much like what's happening now, she says. It was amazing to have the platform to be able to comment on that. Literally what? And then she also pushes for an all-female Avengers movie. It's what audiences want. No, that would be Brondo, all right? Nobody wants an all-female Avengers movie. I hope you make it. I really do. I hope you make it because it will be a spectacular bust. Then you see Black Widow star Scarlett Johansson claims women are undermined, underpaid, underappreciated, and underserved. Johansson's comments came in an interview alongside her Black Widow co-star Florence Puga. I don't know, and I don't care. While speaking to Glamour magazine, the duo are asked by Glamour's Josh Smith how they've been their own allies in their own lives. One answered saying, in my own life, why I've been my own ally? That's a big question. I don't know. Isn't that sad? You go first, Scarlett. I need to do some deep thinking. Johansson then provided an answer. As a woman, you have to be your own ally all the time because we are undermined and underserved and underappreciated and underpaid. You have to be your own ally, said Scarlett Johansson, who was paid, again, $15 million for this film, and net worth is probably significantly more than that. Not saying that she doesn't deserve it or not saying that she hasn't earned it, but it's tough for me to see you as a victim when you're worth $100 million plus. Johansson then added, equal pay is a huge part of the fight. Again, $15 million. Even when I was a teenager in the industry, I should say my mom would have those conversations like, why is she not getting paid the same? She went on to claim it never had anything to do. It never had anything to do. It was always these key little terms like bankability and box office draw. So profitability? Those are terms that are basically masquerading as sexism. What? No, they're not. We'll see how a standalone Black Widow movie does against a standalone Thor movie, and then we can talk about box office bankability and box office draw. Look, if Black Widow, and look, I don't think that it's fair to expect Black Widow to make $1 billion. Captain Marvel made $1 billion, but we all know why that was. I think a reasonable success in a post-lockdown world would probably be somewhere north of $750 million, including the $30 payments from people on Disney Premier Access. Never had anything to do. There's also a part of systemic issue that women could not be bankable or have box office draw. Well, I think by and large, that's still basically true. There's been a few outliers like Wonder Woman, if we're just talking about superhero movies, and Captain Marvel that both made $1 billion. But Wonder Woman 1984 made significantly less, and I'd be willing to bet the third movie in that series will make even less than Wonder Woman 1984. not just because of women, but because people are getting tired of the same low-stakes cape stuff. Back in January 2018, it was reported that Johansson would earn $25 million for her appearance in the upcoming Black Widow film. $25 million. Oh, that's even more. Not only did a report from the Daily Mail claim she would earn $25 million, but if the film earns more than $900 million, she'll get a $6 million bonus. Well, it's not going to make more than $900 million. You can see here, women aren't as big of a box office draw. It's not systemic. It's a fact. Take two very similar movies, Atomic Blonde and John Wick, both very good, IMO. But which one is working on its fourth installment and which one is yet to get a sequel? I mean, Terminator Dark Fate, that's another perfect example. I'm just over this. I think Scarlett has just lost my money. And look, if you want to still see the movie, obviously that's entirely your right. But at least consider a matinee price or watching it with a friend. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.